GM HODL fam, welcome back to another episode of the HODL. Today, Button and I, we're going to talk about one of our favorite artists. His name is Fewocious. So, Button, why don't you get started and tell us more about who Fewocious is and his background?
Yes, Fewocious is legend in the NFT space. He is, at this point, if you're collecting NFTs or no NFT art, you already know who Fewocious is. But we want to give you a little bit insight as to who he is, who he was, and where he's going in the future. So this is our man, Victor, previously known as Victoria. He is an artist at heart. He was already creating a lot of physical art, and he had a passion for creating art, and he is very, very talented. As he was growing up with his family, he had a bit of a struggle being able to express himself and felt more connected as becoming Victor. And now that he is Victor, he is truly emphasizing who he is to the whole level of maximum capacity, and he is leaning into digital art as an incredible opportunity. He's only 19 years old, and he's already made so many big moves in the NFT space that are unlike any other artist that I've seen thus far. I have a huge appreciation for him, and it all kind of started when he was making art. Started out with t-shirts and then transitioned to digital art. Once he heard about what the possibilities were with NFTs, he leaned in all the way because it was a way for him to express who he truly is, and all of this has been captured on the blockchain. So Kucho, why don't you explain a little bit about some of his art, because they are stunning pieces.
Yeah, perfect. And yeah, he grew up actually in an abusive household, like you mentioned. And he started when he got into art at a very young age. He started doing a lot of physical pieces, but then his grandparents that he lived with at the time, they were super unsupportive. So he got into digital art to be able to hide it a little bit more for him from them, which I think is an interesting fact. So he got into digital art, and then in early 2020 he heard of NFTs. It was actually one of his fans that's very appreciative of his art that told him about NFTs, and in particular told him about the SuperRare platform. SuperRare is a platform that allows you to mint one of one art. And so he started in mid 2020 to mint a few of his pieces on SuperRare. What was really cool is right from the beginning, his pieces on SuperRare got a lot of attention. Some of his first pieces, within like a couple of days of him minting pieces on SuperRare, he made like a few $1,000s on SuperRare by his first one of ones that got sold. There were already a lot of people bidding on it, and he got quite a bit of attention on the platform. So this really showed him that he was onto something with his art, and there were a lot of people that were super passionate about collecting his art. Something else that I think is really cool is that many of his first pieces, they actually came with a physical as well. So a lot of these pieces that you see on SuperRare, especially his early pieces, as a collector, you didn't just get the digital artwork, but in addition, he also sent you the physical painting that came along with it. And I think this is a theme, as we continue to talk about his journey, it's a theme that he really builds, like that bridge between both digital art and physical art. So this was SuperRare. The next step in his journey was starting on another art platform, which was Nifty Gateway. So Button, tell us a little bit more about that part of Fewocious' journey.
Yeah, so those super rare pieces are incredible. They're one of ones. And at that point in time, we could even say that he was a bit underground, to the point where after he went on Nifty Gateway, it really allowed him to go mainstream in Web3, if there is such a thing. And that's because Nifty Gateway sets up a design in which they heavily promote their drops. And it's like a big, exciting celebratory moment where they're releasing a lot of his pieces. And he did make them accessible beyond just having one of ones. So some of these, they were one of ones that went as auctions, but others were also open editions, which made it possible for everyone and anyone to get a chance to buy one. And then there's multiple editions of that piece which you're hoping when you're making the purchase that as more people recognize the beauty in his art, that they get an increase in the value because they have one of his limited edition pieces. So open editions, Nifty Gateway, take them to the next level. And that's when he's able to start leaning in to the creativity aspect of fashion. Kucha, you want to tell him about that partnership?
Yes, and you mentioned it actually early, right? Fewocious started with printing his own t-shirts. So from early on, he was really passionate about creating his own fashion as well. And he partnered in early 2021, he partnered with RTFKT to really bring his fashion to the next level. They did a drop together on Nifty Gateway where they created 3 sneaker designs as well as a one-of-one necklace and a Fewo drip NFT. And this was a hugely successful drop. So overall, they raised like a couple of million in 7 minutes of the drop window. And yeah, this was, the start of his foray into the fashion world as well, which today continues to be a part of his focus as well. And yeah, it's another channel that he uses to express his art is through fashion items that he creates, which I think is super powerful. At that time, so like Button said, he got more and more into mainstream, more and more people got passionate about his art, and he got a lot of attention. He also got a lot of attention from traditional auction houses. So he did actually a couple of collections with Christie's as well as with Sotheby's. This is the collection he did with Christie's. It's called Hello, I'm Victor, and This Is My Life. What it was is he did 5 different pieces, and each of these pieces represent 1 year in his of his teenage years. And again, in this drop, he merged both digital art with physical art. Each of these pieces came with the digital artwork, as well as he created like a physical case for it as well. And it came with a physical counterpart as well, which I think is really powerful. So that was the Christie's drop. And then with Sotheby's, he did a sculpture called Mr. Misunderstood that actually got sold off for a couple of million dollars. So he continued to get more and more into mainstream. And he's not just innovating on the art side, but he's also innovating in the way in which he engages his community. And one way in which he does that is through paint parties. So what is a paint party? But tell us more about that.
The paint parties are epic. So as he's going on his journey, he's really getting his name out there in the real world and leaning into the physical. And so this is an opportunity for him to build a community around his art. And so what they do is if you are a holder of one of his NFTs, you have the ability to go to one of his paint party events and you get the opportunity to not only meet Fewocious, but you get an opportunity to paint with him and paint with other collectors. They set it up in a style in which you feel like you're being transported to what we call Fewo World, which is his vision of what the ideal world would be that he imagines in his canvas. And you get to not only experience it, but you get to help create it. And so you get all the tools that you need from every single type of paint, all the different colors, and you create these massive canvases with other people in hope that you're releasing some of that creative energy within you onto the canvas. And it's free. They provide food, and they even provide rewards for those who participate and attend the events. So he's awesome. I've gone to a couple of them. I've been to Miami, I've been to New York, and they are really stunning events that I highly recommend everyone gets. If you got a chance to do it, please go do it. It's fun and it's quite rewarding.
Yeah, they're awesome. I was fortunate enough to go to the one during NFT NYC this summer as well, and definitely was one of my highlights. So definitely recommend anyone to check it out. Now, his newest project, we're going to actually do a separate video on this, but we got to give a nod to it. So his newest project is called Fewo World, and this is a new ecosystem that he creates. And like Button said, it's also his vision of like his own world that he wants to create together with the Web3 community. And there are a few different components to it. So the first collection that he dropped within that ecosystem is Paint. And yeah, he did mint on Nifty Gateway, where people could purchase like the Paint NFTs. And the different NFTs in the collection have different quantities of paint. And depending on how much paint you have as a collector, it gives you different levels of access in this Fewo World ecosystem that he creates. And
yeah, it's very fascinating. It's a lot of fun. It's quite complicated, hence why we got to do a whole nother video details. But overall, I mean, Cucho, me and you, we both are big fans of Fewocious. We're both collectors of his pieces, and we are big believers in what his vision is going forward. He's got an incredible team. I can't wait to get more, and I know you can't wait too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what the future has in store for him. He's just 19 years old, and looking at the last couple of years and how much he's grown as an artist and the innovation in art he's created in the last 2 years. I mean, I think it's going to be awesome to see what he's going to continue to create over the next years and decades. So couldn't be more excited to see that play out. All right, everyone.
I appreciate doing this, my man. I can't wait to do another one with you. Fewocious, if you're hearing this, we're very proud of you, and we can't wait for what's next. Talk to you later, Cucho.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.